Hiya guys, hope you are well. So today we are going to be doing one of the most iconic Rolex watches of all time. Or, if you're my wife, it looks just like my date just. Hi, I'm Andrew and I'm a watch addict. Hi guys, welcome to the show. Hope you're all well. So yeah, I have got a Rolex Explorer, the model 21, I don't have a clue. 214270. It's a 39mm. Can you believe that they only brought out a 39mm Rolex Explorer in 2016? That's not very long ago, is it? So before 2016, Rolex Explorers were 36mm, which maybe a decade ago, that was a man's watch. But I went to look at the Tudor Black Bay Steel and Gold 36mm. I think I've tried the 41 on, that's too big, so I went to try the 36mm on. And then I went online to look at it, and you'll never... the brand ambassador, it wasn't David Beckham, it was Lady Gaga wearing a 36mm, so nothing against Lady Gaga, she's a great singer and all that, but I don't want to be wearing what is marketed as a woman's watch, and that's the problem now. Even 39mm, it's a small man's watch, when back in the day, maybe even 16, that were an upgrade, it was a size upgrade, but 39mm is pretty small. For me, at the moment, I'm finding it a really perfect size 39mm. And the Rolex Explorer, what can I say about it? It's a bit bland, isn't it? It is a little bit bland. I think there's nothing wrong with modern Rolex. That first time you open a Rolex box and you see a brand new Rolex in there, if it's 39mm or above, for me personally, I'm just blown away by it. I just think, wow, that is an amazing Rolex, and it's just a Rolex. That's all it has to be, a Rolex, and I think it's amazing. But once you've experienced it for a while and you've sort of settled down from the awe of owning a Rolex, you sort of take a bit more of a look at it. And when I previously owned the Rolex Explorer, as fantastic as it is, as gorgeous as it is a little bit sterile, it is a little bit bland, and that's probably what makes it such an iconic watch. The Speedmaster, which I'm wearing today, you could say that's a bit bland, a bit sterile. It's just got white and black, just like the Rolex Explorer, and that's probably what makes it so successful. But after a while, it can sort of become a little bit nondescript, for want of a better phrase. So yeah, I think it's a little bit bland, although the build quality, the loom, oh la la. Yeah, it's just fantastic watch to own. My biggest downfall for me, and this is in a lot of Rolex watches, that it doesn't have a date feature. If you think about the Air King, the Milgauss, the Daytona, the Explorer, there's just too many watches without a date. And for me, as an all-day, everyday watch, it got to have a date. So for me, the Speedmaster, I could never wear it all day everywhere. I could never wear it to work, so it doesn't have a date. Again, that's personal preference, but it's something that I certainly look for if I'm going to have a watch that I want to wear all day, every day. And if you're going to spend £5,200 on a Rolex Explorer, for me, it'd almost be a weekend watch because it hasn't got a date. That's why I went for the Rolex Date Just over it. Now, I'll tell you something, looking at my Rolex Date Just and the Rolex Explorer, if I took those dials out and just threw you the cases, you would have a hard time deciding which was which, given obviously it's got the polished centre links, but I can't believe how similar looking they are. They've got the same design lugs, the same crown, they've got the same bezel, they've got the same case shape, they've got the same taper. The only defining factor is the fact that it's got the polished centre links and a different clasp, but they've got away with it. The fact that you can call one a tour watch and then one a dress watch simply because of the way you've finished and polished it is ridiculous, really. Yeah, it's got more of a safety clasp on the back, but just looking at it then before I started filming, I was a little bit taken aback at how very similar they are. When I got the date just and I said I was getting the Explorer, she said, but my wife just said, well, it's the same watch. And I'm like, oh, don't be so silly, darling. You don't know what you're talking about. It's different this, different that. But as a non-watch person looking at them, yeah, they're pretty identical. The Explorer's got the history and the heritage, and it's a bit masculine because it has gone to going to say the moon then. It has gone up a mountain, so I think that is attractive. It's all part of the marketing ultimately. History goes, it might not have even been him that wore it to go up to the top, does it? But it's got great heritage. But I think it's almost an entry-level Rolex, isn't it? I feel like I'm being really negative about it. And I don't think that is the case. The Rolex Explorer is an absolutely fantastic watch, and would I have it in the collection? Absolutely. I think it's fantastic. I mean, the stats, just the sizing of it's a really, really great size. 39mm case, 20mm lugs, 47mm lug to lug. It's a really, really easy watch to put on and just forget about it. It tapers down to 15mm, it's 11mm thick, and those sizes are absolutely fantastic. It's one of those watches that you can just put on, forget about it, and it'll literally go with anything. The bracelet's fantastic. It's got the Easy Link, and I just think, oh yeah, this is a watch you could get on board with. The new dial with the Lume 3, 6 and 9, I think that is fantastic. I think it really looks the business. As it came out in 2016, a 39mm case. It's way back in the 1953 this watch came out. It's now got the caliber 3132, 48 power reserve, 100 meter water resistance, and it's £5,200. And that £5,200, you buy it today, I don't think you'd lose much money on it. You might even make a fair bit on the Rolex Explorer. I think you make most on most Rolexes, don't you, nowadays? It's absolutely out of control what people are trying to offer. I saw one of the Oyster Perpetuals 41s, the new ones, at £8,000 on eBay the other day. You're just like, I'd love to know, are people actually paying £8,000 for a £4,700 watch? Are they? It's nuts, isn't it? So, if I had to pick my too good, too bad about this iconic, fantastic watch, I would say the two good things are it's a Rolex. You just cannot go wrong with a Rolex. I'll tell you now, I think this is a bit bad as well, but there's part of me, I'll be honest, I would take the worst modern new Rolex over a higher spec, better Omega, Breitling, Zenith, whatever you want to say. I don't know. I think for me, a Rolex is a Rolex, even though if you put them side by side on paper, this Omega, the Seamaster is better than the other watches in the Rolex collections and stuff. So I'm not saying which watch is which, but yeah, for me, I'd rather take a lower end entry level OP41 over a more expensive Omega. And I'm slowly turning around. I don't think that's the case. I'm getting more and more of a fan of Omega as the years go on, but in my head, at my core, yeah, I'd take a entry-level Rolex over a higher spec Omega, Breitling, whatever. So the fact that it's a Rolex, I think that's a really good thing. It's case size. The 39mm case is gorgeous. It's actually about 38 points somewhat, so it's a bit under 39, whereas the Datejust is a smidge over 39. So there is a little bit difference in the sizes, although they're in and about 39mm each, even though it's a 41mm. So yeah, the case sizing, just everything about the watch, the case, the finish, the size, it's gorgeous. It's really nice. Now, the two bad things are, well, it's quite funny really, because one of them is the fact that it is a Rolex, and the fact that it is a little bit just like a Datejust. People always mistake the Air King case with the Rolex Explorer case. It's actually more like the Datejust case. So it is very a nondescript Rolex, but I think ultimately that is what makes it so successful. It's just such a gorgeous, gorgeous watch. And one more negative, I said it right at the beginning, it's a little bit vanilla, a little bit bland. God, that sounds terrible, doesn't it? It's a £5,200 watch. But yeah, it is just I remember when I had my Explorer, I sort of had that urge, that feeling that, freaking hell, I've just spent £5,000 on a watch and it could be a £1,000 Seiko. So that was in the back of my head, not last summer, the summer before, I think, when I owned that watch. But I've asked for one back. I got let down on it. I got promised it, and it's never turned up. But I would definitely have the Rolex Explorer back. So for all the negatives I've just said, or I feel like I've dissed it a bit, to be honest, in this video. Yeah, I definitely have one back in a heartbeat. I think it's a fantastic watch. I definitely have one. I have owned one, sold one. Right. What do you think, guys? Is it a good watch? Would you have it? A recent poll I put out with the Speedmaster and the Explorer literally split down the middle, and it's because they've both got loads of heritage. They're both a bit nondescript. They're both just black and white, and literally half were in the Speedy camp, half were in the Explorer camp. If I had to choose, if I could swap this for the Explorer, honestly, before I had the Explorer back in my possession, I'd have said, yeah, I'd have definitely swapped it, but it's something about the Speedy at the moment. It's just pulling on the heartstrings. It's one of them that I have tried selling it on eBay. I've been really close. I've had a couple of offers, but I countered offered with an overly high response only last night because I just sort of shit out a little bit because I wasn't sure if I wanted to sell it. Does the water resistance annoy me? Absolutely. Oh, maybe I should have taken that. I don't know. Right, guys, that's enough for tonight. Over and out. I'll see you in the next one.